In America, we do not worship the government. We glorify God. The contest for the White House seat is heating up more than ever as Trump returns to the race and attempts to campaign for a second term. In addition to focusing on America's prosperity, he has always stressed his faith in God. Since he began campaigning for politics, Trump's last campaign, Make America Great Again, touched the hearts of Americans and earned widespread support. So, in the future election, if Trump can begin a campaign that impacts all Americans, while also touching Christians who are overwhelmingly putting their trust in him, Trump's chances of winning will be strong, if not higher. Do you think like this? Along with his strong belief in God, Trump recently delivered a warning to America, which may cause panic. Trump warns people who do not believe in God. America has the world's shortest founding history, but it has risen to become the most powerful country in all aspects of economy, military, and, most notably, science and technology. What enables this young country to perform such miracles? The answer is faith. Up to 95% of Americans, from the working class to the wealthy, have a deep faith in God, which is not found in any other country. If you enjoy our content and want to support us, click on the Super Thanks button below. Your Super Thanks is not just a donation. It is a blessing that supports our mission to share the transformative journey of Jesus. In American history, the early legislators used the Bible as a benchmark to build laws and solve societal problems in accordance with God's Spirit, as revealed in the Bible. As a result, the Bible is regarded as the foundation upon which the United States Constitution was built. As a result, America is currently in the forefront of global growth. Trump once stated, "As long as there is God, we will never be alone." Whether you are a soldier standing watch on the night shift, or a single mom working the night shift, God will always soothe, strengthen, and encourage you. We need to keep pushing forward. During the 2018 National Day of Prayer, President Donald Trump stated, "Americans of faith have built hospitals to care for our sick, homes to care for our elderly, and charities to house orphans. And they minister, and they truly do. They minister to the underprivileged in a lovely and loving manner." He continued, "We are proud of our religious heritage. And, as president, I will always uphold religious liberty. We have been doing it. We have been doing it." Because of his strong faith in God, Trump especially does not support people who deny him. According to Trump, those who hold incorrect beliefs will not receive knowledge or direction from God. Trump has risen to his current position because he believes in himself. He was once the President of the United States and is now running for re-election, and he hopes to receive Christian support. He also promised to implement policies that would protect both them and his beliefs. Is God on Trump's side in the presidential election? Many spiritual people believe that Mr. Trump will win the race for the White House in 2017. One of them is an Italian who stated that before Mr. Trump was elected President of the United States, he received a prophecy in the 1980s that a man named Trump would return America to faith. Before Trump's stunning triumph, some media outlets ran the headline, "Maybe God did choose Trump to be president." With the 2024 race started, many Christians are putting their trust in Trump's comeback and triumph. Trump, too, thinks that God is, and will always be with him in this race. Trump also cautioned Christians about violence. Encourage folks to support us. Evangelicals have created a solid base of support for Trump. Trump is attempting to keep his followers on his side. You have to hopefully get out and get people to support us. Trump stated. If you don't, it will be the beginning of the end for everything you've gotten. That is a problem. Trump suggested religious leaders might help by encouraging their congregations and adherents to vote. I simply beg that you go out and make sure that all of your folks vote, because if they don't, we're going to have a dreadful 2 years and, honestly, a very difficult period of time. He remarked. You're one election away from losing everything you've earned. He said. Trump's point is that if Christians did not support him, no one would have protected them in the same way he did. Christians have always been the targets of violence. Thus, they require someone wealthy and powerful to protect them. And that person, Trump firmly claimed, was himself. Let us have a look at some of Trump's thoughts on this story. God designed me to be America's caretaker. On the eve of the Iowa caucuses, Donald Trump posted an odd video in which he appears to proclaim himself to be God's chosen messenger on earth, sent to restore America's wealth. The viral movie portrays the former president in sharply religious, almost messianic tones as the vessel of a higher authority, dispatched to save the country. The 3-minute clip begins with hazy video of an LP playing on a record player, broadcasting a supposedly old sermon, in which a preacher intones, on June 14, 1946, God looked down at his intended paradise and stated, I need a caretaker. So, God gave us Trump. What follows is set to a portrait of the Republican tycoon as a holy infant, followed by a montage of appropriate scenes during his presidency, and ends with a wacky-cod biblical narration. God said, I need someone who will get up before dawn, fix this country, work all day, fight the Marxists, eat supper, then go to the Oval Office, and stay past midnight at a meeting of heads of state. So God created Trump, the narrator adds. I need someone with powerful arms to wrestle the deep state, while remaining delicate enough to birth his own youngster. Someone to ruffle feathers, calm the cantankerous World Economic Forum, return home hungry, have to wait until the First Lady is finished eating lunch with pals, then urge the ladies to be sure and come back very soon and mean it. So, God gave us Trump. The bizarre video concludes with God anointing Mr. as the shepherd to lead his flock, and promising that his man, if he wins the Republican nomination and defeats Joe Biden in November, will drill for fossil fuels, create more American jobs, secure the southern border, build the U.S. press military, and fight the system all day, while still finding time to attend church on Sundays. I will not go into depth about the political ideas or ideologies presented in this video. It is worth noting that this is a video demonstrating that Trump appeared by God's will. God sent it to the Americans, and Trump's sharing demonstrates his agreement with this. He proudly acknowledged his significance to America. According to Daniel 2 verse 21, God alters the periods and seasons. He both removes and installs kings. According to Romans 13 verse 1, God established the authorities that exist today. If you interpret these scriptures to mean that God desired Trump to be elected or established in power, then the same can be said for every other world leader, including those whose beliefs and policies do not line with evangelical goals. Only God can become a speaker. Trump quipped that only Jesus Christ could gain enough votes from House Republicans to become Speaker. Speaking to a group of reporters in New Hampshire, Trump emphasized the difficulty of the 4-vote threshold. The most number of House Republicans candidates can afford to lose a floor vote, but still obtaining the Speaker's gavel. That 4 threshold is quite difficult. It's a challenging task. Trump stated that there is only one guy who can accomplish it all. Do you know who it is? Jesus Christ. If Jesus came down and said, "I want to be a speaker," he would do so. Aside from that, I haven't seen anyone who can promise it. Perhaps Trump means that the only person with a chance of becoming Speaker of the House is Jesus. And if Trump wants to sit in this position, he must first obtain God's consent and instruction. I want you to believe in God. Trump is never shy about expressing his devotion for God. He always openly declared his beliefs, hoping that his power would safeguard it. So, have you ever pondered why Trump always encourages people to rely on God? If you believe God exists, but are unsure if you can embrace Jesus, claim to be God in the flesh, you are not alone. First, we believe in God because we have a profound feeling that everything has an inherent moral framework. Life, love, and purpose are morally defined. There is an unbreakable rule of karma that operates everywhere and in everything. Virtuous conduct inherently breeds joy, just as malevolent actions spawn their own grief. This notion, though articulated diversely across religions, forms the core of each, essentially defining morality. The measure you give is the measure you get, as Jesus phrased it, echoes this sentiment. It translates to a simple truth. The essence we emit is what we inhale in return. For instance, excessive deforestation leads to inhaling harmful gases like carbon monoxide, whereas exuding love invites love in return. Emit hate and anger, and those dark clouds will hover around you. Our reality is woven in such a way that good begets good, and sin begets sin. Consider Trump's perspective. He chose not to seek divine pardon, accepting full accountability for his deeds. Yet this doesn't imply a denial of a higher power. He perhaps wished that his errors weren't divinely ordained. While some perennially seek God's forgiveness, figures like Trump embrace complete responsibility for their actions. Wrongdoing inevitably brings retribution. There's no escape. And yet, even someone like Trump desires divine guidance towards righteousness. When influential figures err, the repercussions can be catastrophic. Thus, faith in a higher power is rational. The inherent morality of the universe suggests it's not the product of blind chaos, but of an intelligent, benevolent force. Furthermore, the existence of soul, intelligence, love, altruism, and art strengthens the belief in a divine presence. These elements, transcending mere survival, hint at a reality thoughtfully crafted by a higher wisdom. The emergence of soul, intelligence, love, altruism, spirituality, and art cannot be attributed to mere cosmic randomness. The concept that billions of years of chaotic, aimless evolution, devoid of any guiding intelligence or love, could culminate in such profound elements of existence challenges reason. Is it feasible to believe that our deepest qualities, the noble and precious facets of our hearts, are merely the byproduct of an endless series of coincidental occurrences within a mindless, brute process? Consider someone like Trump, whose decisions, especially in critical times, require an alert and intelligent soul. Like many, he seeks divine presence in his life, indicating a shared human desire to be guided by a higher power. This belief in divine guidance stems from the conviction that God is the embodiment of love, incapable of causing harm. Furthermore, the efficacy of the gospel in our lives reinforces our belief in God. The teachings and incarnation of Jesus resonate deeply with what is most precious and noble within us. This aligns with personal experiences. When one lives according to the gospel, taking a leap of faith in its truths, the results are often affirming. Miracles like the loaves feeding thousands and David defeating Goliath exemplify this. However, the gospel's power is realized only through active engagement and risk-taking. Of course, there are instances where devout, faithful individuals appear to suffer despite their adherence to the gospel, often ending up impoverished or victimized. But this perspective is influenced by worldly standards, particularly the prosperity gospel, which equates material success with divine favor. This view may overlook the deeper, more meaningful triumphs that align with spiritual fulfillment rather than worldly achievements. The teachings of Jesus challenge the conventional notion of success. Those who earnestly live by the gospel are promised a reward surpassing material achievements, the profound joy of a life well lived. This joy, as Jesus assures, is deeper, more enduring, and more fulfilling than any worldly pleasure. My belief in God is strengthened not just by the effectiveness of the gospel, but also by the power of prayer. Reflecting on the significance of faith, Trump expressed his reverence for the Bible. Despite receiving countless Bibles, due to his prominent location in Manhattan, he treats each with great respect. Overwhelmed by mail, he ensures that these Bibles are stored respectfully, occasionally sharing them with others. His approach reflects a deep-seated regard for the sacred text, a testament to the impact of faith in his life. But perhaps most importantly, belief in God is anchored in the vast community of faith that spans across time. This community traces back to the life and resurrection of Jesus Christ, and it is this lineage of faith that initiated me into my own spiritual journey. Throughout history, human societies have consistently formed communities centered around belief in God, worship, and the practice of sacred rituals and sacraments. This enduring tradition of faith, transcending generations and cultures, further solidifies the belief in a higher power. Our belief in God is deeply rooted in the existence of faith-based families and the practice of church sacraments. Reflecting on his own spiritual journey, Trump, in a written interview, shared a significant shift in his religious identity. Once confirmed in the Presbyterian Church, and having identified as Presbyterian for many years, he now describes himself as a non-denominational Christian. This change occurred during his presidency, a time when he and Melania visited numerous remarkable churches and engaged with influential faith leaders globally. During the challenging period of the COVID-19 pandemic, Trump, like millions of Americans, participated in virtual church services. This period highlighted a personal aspect of faith in the digital age. However, public perception varies regarding Trump's religious convictions. A survey by the nonpartisan Public Religion Research Institute revealed that about 40% of Americans perceive Trump's use of religion as primarily politically motivated. Conversely, a significant portion of white evangelical Republicans, approximately 59%, believe Trump holds strong religious beliefs. Trump's disassociation from a mainline denomination reflects a broader cultural trend in the United States, often referred to as religious switching by social scientists. This phenomenon encompasses both dramatic transformations, such as born-again experiences, and more subtle shifts in religious identity. It's particularly prevalent in societies like the U.S., where there's a plethora of religious options, and where religion is taken seriously as a distinctive part of personal identity. Despite these changes in affiliation, Trump maintains a firm belief in his role as a president who has inspired a belief in God among many Americans. This belief is indicative of the complex and evolving nature of religious identity and perception in modern America. Trump has asserted that his public defense of Christians has emboldened many to openly express their faith, emerging into the light under his protection. While there are speculations about his true motives, the race for the White House continues, and it remains to be seen what promises and actions Trump will offer to garner the support of Christian voters. The belief in God is reinforced by the evidence of his existence visible in all creation, silently testifying to the presence of a Creator. This shared faith unites us in the belief that we are all equal in the eyes of the Creator, transcending our physical existence to recognize our souls. The founding principle of our republic is that freedom is not a grant from the state, but a gift from the Creator. Discussing Trump's personal faith, it is evident that he relies on God at every juncture of his life and has frequently defended Christians publicly. This leads many to believe that in the upcoming political challenges, if Trump remains steadfast in his faith and trust in God, he might find greater hope. However, everything ultimately unfolds according to God's will, and whom he chooses to favor remains unknown. It's important to note that one can choose to reject the God of the Bible, as many do. Rejecting Jesus Christ is tantamount to rejecting God himself. The crucial question then becomes, will you rely solely on human reasoning, which is limited and flawed? Or will you acknowledge your Creator and accept the revelation provided in the Bible? This choice defines the path one takes in life, between secular reasoning and divine faith. If you enjoy our content and want to support us, click on the Super Thanks button below. Your Super Thanks is not just a donation, it is a blessing that supports our mission to share the transformative journey of Jesus.